Hello world, welcome to your Mindful Monday morning live video. I'm excited to share with you about this topic of touching peace by touching the earth. It's been a while since I did one of these videos, and I want to share my intention to celebrate the power of mindfulness in community. Good morning. Thank you for being here. The power of mindfulness is something that always grows stronger when it's shared. So when we're in community like this, it's more nourishing than when we're alone. And it's always more fun to do things together, isn't it? So I have this book here by Thich Nhat Hanh called Touching Peace. This is the book that I discovered at the library 11 years ago when I first found the word mindfulness, and it has never left me since. And Thich Nhat Hanh is just an amazing writer. His voice is very non-dogmatic, and he doesn't order you to do anything or insist that you believe anything. His teachings are very grounded in reality. And there's Pluto, my sweet kitten. Okay, and we have Jupiter here too. Say hi. Say hi, Jupiter. My sweet angels. So, I grew up in the United States, coming to you through the magic of the internet, here from Costa Rica. Today, this is where I live. I've been here for almost 2 years. The interesting thing is that in the United States, the power of slowing down is radical and can also be sort of out of reach at times. And to slow down, being such a radical act, we need a lot of support. And when we do that, when we get that support, we can have this extraordinary impact. I'm speaking from my experience in maybe it was like 2010 or something. I went to a day of mindfulness in New York City. I was living in Philadelphia, and we took the bus with a friend and went up, and we sat in this community in New York City. There were several monks and nuns, and they guided us. We had a beautiful mindful meditation and lunch, and then all of us went on a walking meditation together through the streets of New York to Union Square. And we sat there, all of us in Union Square. I think there were like 60 people, and we meditated in the middle of New York City in this square. And there's an alchemical power to being present in the midst of chaos. And I got chills in my body when I said that. What do you think when I say the word alchemy? How does that resonate in your field? For me, this is an ancient practice, so anything you think of could be true. For me, it's about transformation. So the ancient alchemy was about taking sulfur and making gold. And there were all kinds of steps. The alchemists had devised and many different processes for transforming the substance of sulfur, which is just that stinky, rotten egg, not very beautiful substance, into gold, which humanity has a loving, strong relationship with. And that alchemical process is something that we can do as peace activists. And so when you stop whatever you're doing and smile, or walk slower with a gentle smile, that's already changing the world. That's a really powerful practice. And so I just wanted to share some inspiration for your practice today. I know that it might be the morning where you are, and maybe you're beginning your week, and maybe with our time together, we can set the intention to make this week one of peace. And maybe with what I'm about to share, you can realize that all it takes is one breath, all it takes is one step to create the experience of peace in your life. And as I mentioned, that's all you need to change the world. So I'm just going to read a little bit from this book, Touching Peace. And oops, here we go. Oh, this is Thich Nhat Hanh, by the way. We are so lucky, by the way, that this man, this Zen master, is still alive. There are a lot of wisdom teachers that humanity has been blessed with, and this person he's still alive. He's in his 90s, and he's gone home. He's gone back to Vietnam after more than 60 years spreading mindfulness throughout the world. I was really blessed to go to his monastery in France in 2012 and spend 3 weeks there on retreat. And that was a really powerful experience for a young American. I really want to share the fruits of this practice, because it's the healing balm for the collective soul right now. Okay, without further ado. We have so many reasons to be happy. The earth is filled with love for us and patience. Whenever she sees us suffering, she will protect us. With the earth as a refuge, we need not be afraid of anything, even dying. Walking mindfully on the earth, we are nourished by the trees, the bushes, the flowers, and the sunshine. Touching the earth is a very deep practice that can restore our peace and our joy. We are children of the earth. We rely on the earth, and the earth relies on us. Whether the earth is a beautiful, fresh, and green, or arid and parched, depends on our way of walking. Please touch the earth in mindfulness, with joy and concentration. The earth will heal you, and you will heal the earth. One of the best ways to touch the earth is by practicing walking meditation. We walk slowly, massaging the earth and planting seeds of joy and happiness with each step, and following our breathing at the same time. We don't try to go anywhere. We arrive with every step. When we breathe in, we count the number of steps we take. If we take 3 steps, we say silently, in, in, in. When we breathe out, we do the same, out, out, out. If we take 3 steps as we breathe in and 4 steps as we breathe out, we say out, 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 out. We listen to the needs of our lungs, and we breathe and walk accordingly. Walking up a hill, we will probably take fewer steps with each breath. As we walk, we bring our attention down into our feet. We breathe as if we were breathing from the soles of our feet. We don't stay in the zone of our thoughts and emotions. So already listening to our body and breathing as our body asks us to is a healing practice in itself. So our bodies aren't used to being listened to. They're used to being pushed out of bed, pushed onto the bus or into the car, pushed into your uncomfortable desk chair, and pushed to sit for 3 hours, and then pushed to rush through lunch, and then pushed to sit in a classroom all morning when the sun is shining. And so our bodies receiving our mindful attention and the receptiveness to what they ask is already a healing practice. And as Thich Nhat Hanh is saying here, it heals the earth when we listen to our bodies. The part about not staying in the zone of our thoughts and emotions is also very powerful, because our body is a container for thoughts and emotions, for the mind, and it takes these thoughts and it creates emotions. Our body is this biofeedback tool where we receive thoughts. Thoughts are things, and then before we even realize that we've thought a thought, an emotion arises that corresponds to that thought, and through the electromagnetic field of our heart is projected out into the world. So the experience of listening to our body allows us to connect to that process and connect us to our sovereignty. So I'm going to keep going. For the sake of time, I'm just going to share that you can practice saying in on your in-breath and out on your out-breath, but you can also choose other mantras. So there's a beautiful poem, good morning, good morning, good morning, that is breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. So on your walking meditation practice, you can use the air and the flowers or the trees to nurture your experience of flower, fresh, flower, fresh. And that's if you're only taking one breath per step. If your in-breath lasts 3 steps, you might say in, flower, 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 fresh, fresh, fresh. And to strengthen the seeds of mindfulness in us, it is helpful if sometimes we practice in a park or some other beautiful, quiet place. We walk slowly, but not too slowly, as we don't want others to think we are too unusual. This is a kind of invisible practice. We can enjoy nature and our own serenity without making others uncomfortable. Powerful, right? When we see something we want to touch with our mindfulness, the blue sky, the hills, a tree, a bird, we just stop. But while we do so, we continue breathing in and out mindfully. If we don't continue to breathe consciously, sooner or later, our thinking will settle back in and the bird and the tree will disappear. Therefore, we always hold on to our breathing. At Plum Village, that's his retreat center in France, we practice walking meditation every time we go from one place to another, even for a short distance. And having been immersed in this community, that is such a powerful practice, and it is so contagious. When you see others around you being mindful in the simple act of walking from the kitchen to their table, wow, it strikes you. So practice this and maybe watch a YouTube video or something. Whenever I see someone walking mindfully, she is a bell of mindfulness for me. If I have lost my mindfulness and I see her, I return to my mindfulness right away. As a community, we can help each other a lot. There is no need for us to struggle to arrive somewhere else. We know that our final destination is the cemetery. Why are we in a hurry to get there? Why not step in the direction of life, which is in the present moment? When we practice walking meditation for even a few days, we will undergo a deep transformation and we will learn how to enjoy peace in each moment of our life. We will smile, and countless bodhisattvas throughout the cosmos will smile back at us because our peace is so deep. Everything we think, feel, and do has an effect on our ancestors and all future generations and reverberates throughout the universe. Therefore, our smile helps everyone. This is the teaching of the Advanced Sutra. Take good care of our baby. We only need to stop struggling. Let me say that again. To take good care of our baby, for example, a child that we wish to have in the future that hasn't been born yet, we only need to stop struggling here in the present moment. Peace is every step. We have already arrived. I'm going to write the name of that sutra in the comments in case somebody wants to deepen with that. I haven't read it personally. And the name of this book is Touching Peace by Thich Nhat Hanh. Oops, I almost ended the video. So we all know that our final destination is the cemetery. So why are we in a hurry to get there? You have one precious life. Maybe you get others, but this moment in this life is guaranteed. And the way that we can make the best use of it is by fully arriving in it. And our breath and our body are these powerful tools for doing so. And it takes practice. I always like to reiterate that we're going to forget to breathe. We're going to get caught in thoughts and emotions, but it's okay because that experience allows us to come back to our breath, to remember as if for the first time that we are a body, that we are a human with a body, and that we breathe. And when we come back to our breath, it's this incredible relief to be fully present again. And I'd love if you would share your experience of that with me, because I find it so powerful. My dear friend Farrell is sharing her experience of non-resistance, feeling anxious and impatient. So she touched the presence of the flowing water into her coffee maker. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, absolutely. We can find mindfulness in anything. And you know, I've shared like the meow of my cat is a bell of mindfulness for me. I use it to bring back my breathing. And that's a really powerful practice, because when my cat's meowing at me and I'm like trying to do something, I don't want to hear that. It's frustrating. So what I do instead of focusing on the frustration is I focus on my breathing. And that brings me back to my present moment, because the breath is this like very short in and out, and it's constantly fluctuating and changing. So it's the quickest way to get back in touch with the present moment. And walking meditation, which I just shared about, is a similarly effective and quick practice. I don't like walking meditation, just to be honest. I had an ankle surgery it was 10 years ago, and it created a ton of chronic pain in my leg. And so walking meditation has always been an extraordinarily deep practice for me, because I not only have to be present with my body, but I also have to be present with the little icky, sticky mechanics of my body. And it's funny that I actually bought this tiny book on walking meditation at one of the times I was on retreat, and it just disappeared. Like, I don't know if somebody took it or if it like fell in a crack and then just disappeared. But I think that's a sign that we don't have to practice walking meditation. We can practice breathing meditation, or making coffee meditation, or waiting in line at the bank meditation, or waiting at the stoplight meditation as well. But that practice itself isn't important. It's the effect of the practice and the experience of finding peace in every breath and every step, and every action that we do. And the more we do that, we get better at it. It's a practice. So definitely don't be hard on yourself if like you've forgotten to breathe or you've forgotten to be mindful of your steps. But set the intention this week. Set the intention that you will have these mindful experiences. Wow, yeah. Laurencia is sharing that she connected with the wind on the water, and that also brought her back to mindfulness. Yeah, we can actually use the power of this week really deeply because Friday is the first new moon, the first and only new moon in Aries this year. And Aries is a special sign because it's recognized as the beginning of the circle of the zodiac. So you can start anywhere on a circle, but we choose Aries because it's this fiery, direct energy that is, it's the ram, right? Like the ram. And it just like, bah, like will like launch us into all of our intentions. And it's a really like magical energy that the universe is bringing down for us to use. And so actually, I've found that the more mindful we are of what we're intending in our lives, the more in alignment our lives become with our desires. So if we're just like running around the world being worried and rushing and not really thinking very much about anything other than like the future or the past, and we're not here in the present moment, we're just gonna like get all this crap from the universe. But what I've noticed from my experience is the more that we come into presence and stillness, doesn't have to be physical stillness because what we're talking about is walking meditation, right? There are lots of moving meditation. So instead of walking meditation, I like to do yoga. I like to practice moving meditation on my mat, for example. And it's different, but kind of the same. Because we're present with our breath and the mechanics of our body as interconnected. So it's finding that relationship between our breath and our body and our mind and our emotions, which changes the world. I want to put spirit in there as like a container in that practice. We started off with a conversation about how the earth is always there for us. And the first thing I read is we have so many reasons to be happy. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes it feels like we don't. By the way, this morning is brought to you by Tulsi Rose Tea. Magical. Sometimes it doesn't feel like we have very many reasons to be happy. I found these practices at a deeply, deeply, deeply unhappy time in my life. And I just want to encourage you not to shrug them off because they're saying that there's reasons to be happy and you don't see them. I was lucky enough to be open to the idea that like maybe there were reasons to be happy that I wasn't aware of. And that openness allowed happiness into my life through the earth, through the simple fact that I have a heart that has never stopped beating since the day I was born. That's a reason to be happy. I have eyes that can see the glorious colors of the sunset or the ordinary trees outside my window. That's a reason to be happy. Some people don't have that. And the earth truly is filled with love for us. She continues to just go on producing food, go on cleaning the air, go on cleaning the water that runs through the earth and pops up out of your faucet so that you can make coffee in the morning, for example. And that is a reason to be happy. And so many of us have been deeply wronged by people in our lives because they were out of touch with the peace inside of them and went on to do terrible things. And yet there is still reason to be happy. They're not mutually exclusive. our happiness does not negate the traumas that exist within us. They can exist side by side. And the earth is the one constant through all of that. And she is our mother. Like, that is a truth that transcends spirituality, but it fits in that spiritual nature, because her nourishment is not only physical but spiritual as well. And when we walk mindfully, each step, each time we place our foot on the earth can be a kiss to this mother who sustains our lives without asking for anything in return. The trees and the flowers and the sunshine are all within our experience because the earth protects us. The ozone and the atmosphere protect us so that we can receive just enough sunlight to be able to thrive and survive. Epic. That is just epic. That's that the earth exists at exactly the right distance from the sun so that we can receive the sunlight without being burned and without wanting for heat. It's perfect. It's perfect. That the turning of the earth creates night, which allows the earth herself to cool down in order for plants and other like nighttime plants to thrive. I mean, it's just epic, and we don't have to ask for that. Those gifts are provided to us every day. So as you're practicing your walking meditation, you can deeply touch the wonders of being alive on this earth, the wonders of this present moment that are always available to us, that we don't have to ask for. They're just provided to us. And we rely on the earth. We're children of this earth. And something I've been saying a lot lately is we're children of God. And I think it's really interesting that we are children of the earth and we're children of God. I connect often with the spirit of earth as a goddess, like many humans across many years. That's not required for you to be present, but this might amplify your experience of being in walking meditation. There's a divinity in the constancy of the support of the earth. And that is something that can nourish all of us. Oh, Farrell, I'm so glad that this is feeling like a good start to the week. And that you're connecting with the abundance we receive from the earth. Yes. We receive endless abundance from this earth. And if we really want to change to a society that is sustainable, that is not destroying our climate, destroying our planet and creating climate change, then we need to understand that we're receiving from the earth and taking from her. We have to come into right relationship, which is another Buddhist concept, with the earth. And so I'm an architect and I work on sustainable development projects. I work with governments to help them understand how to implement sustainability practices. But more importantly, governments are just people. And if every single one of us could come more deeply in touch with the present moment, then we wouldn't need to have conversations about what it means to be sustainable, because all of us would have touched deeply the importance of the nurturance and support we receive from this planet, and would already be doing everything we could to protect this earth for future generations. So let's just start with some mindful breaths. Let's start with a smile. How about that? Let's all just start with a smile. Let's just take this week to, if you can, practice walking meditation. If you can't, practice breathing meditation, where you just breathe in and out mindfully, mindful of the fact that your heart has never stopped beating. And if that doesn't feel accessible, start with a smile. Because maybe the person that you smiled at on the street is on his way to a really important meeting where he's going to listen to somebody that's got a really good idea, and now he's going to be able to respond to them with peace, with compassion, with awareness, because your smile awoke in him or her the power of the present moment, brought him back out of the thoughts and emotions, because that's where we get stuck most of the time, is in thoughts and emotions. They just drag us down into the depths of illusion, because the only reality, the only thing that's real is the present moment. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened yet. It's just this. There's only this. So I hope this has been of service to you, to your family, to your neighbors. Thanks for the love. It's really nourishing to be in practice with you, and I'm going to be setting the intention this week to walk mindfully wherever I go and to breathe deeply and peacefully whenever I can. Does anybody have any questions or topics they want me to talk about? I'd love if you would share those with me here. So if you stuck around to the end of this video, you get to be clued in on an exciting secret announcement. So there's a new project coming to life with my sister Catherine and me. We've been receiving some guidance to share on the subject of spirituality and alchemy, and a lot of what I've been talking about now is going to be wrapped into this new group that we're launching. So I'm really excited. This dream of creating a sacred space in a Facebook group has been alive in me for a long time. And my dear sister Catherine is so in alignment with all of this mindfulness and spirituality work. She's a priestess like myself. She's got a lot of experience too. So I'm really looking forward to working some magic with her in the ethers here. And we're going to be offering a course too. So if you want to be notified directly, if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the group or the course, drop the word epic in the comments, and I'll make sure that I reach out to you directly, and so that you can participate in growing a community that's doing the things we're talking about, that's creating heaven here on earth. So it starts with us, it ends with us, and it begins again with us. I hope today that you can feel the freshness of a flower. I hope that you can feel this week the solidity of the mountain. And if nothing else, I hope that your smile is with you and your steps are peaceful. So that's all for me today. Sending you all the love. I'm here for you. It's such an honor to be in community together. Many blessings. Namaste.